Radiation protection falling.
Alright, let's mount one of these guys. A whole load of dung. In case anyone wants to know what I'm doing, I'm looking to catalogue all the creatures on 10 planets to get all the achievements for cataloguing creatures, so that's what I'm doing. I've read online the best way is to keep feeding creatures pellets even if you've discovered them. Keep feeding the creatures, more and more will come over and be interested. So that is the current plan. Discovered it. So the creatures with green dots I've already discovered, so I'm looking for one with a red dot that kind of flashes when you bring up this scanning screen. So that is the aim right now. About to lose my mount, but it's for a good cause. See you later, bud. These oxygen plants, some rich plants. For those who don't know, oxygen is good for increasing the white part at the bottom of the screen just here, your life support system. Needed, of course, to live. I love playing in VR, by the way. It's so immersive, everything's huge and just to scale. So that big guy I was riding, he was genuinely massive in real life. I've found all of these, haven't I? Is he hanging around? Good on him. That's right here, Knowledge Stone. Teaches you alien words, which is an achievement, and that right there, buried module, which is good for learning new things to craft. And this is good for nanites, so you can buy the new recipes to help improve your gear and stuff. Right, let's see if my bud still wants to play. hanging around here, so maybe he does. What are you saying there, big guy? He's crashed, he's glitched. You don't want to be here. I missed a couple. Just to keep an eye out for sodium plants, the yellow Na. As you can see, my hazard protection there is not looking so hot, so I need to recharge it. And that takes some sodium. If you're on any kind of planet with a harmful environment, hazardous planet, any kind of planet with a hazardous environment, you're going to need sodium to repair your hazard protection. Apparently, so I've read in the update where you can now feed and mount the animals. One of the best things you can do to try and spawn creatures you haven't found is keep feeding any animals you see. So what I'm doing is I'm just aiming for a structure and seeing what I can see along the way, animal-wise. Feed the one that I found, and hopefully discover one I haven't. The last one that I haven't, in fact. I know from the catalogue, this way, that it is a ground creature, and it's uncommon, but that doesn't seem to mean much, because these guys, where are they? Not you. These guys are rare. But they're these guys, big guys, and they're everywhere. And yes, he's just done a bob. Which, and incredibly, is salvageable. So I've got a whole host of creatures now that love me, want to follow me around. This is a space drink, you can pick this up, containers and stuff. Not what I'm here for. Not what I'm here for. Okay. What can I look for on there? Now, obviously that trading post is an hour away. That's an hour of walking. So it's best just to keep giving yourself little objectives to aim for. Just keep checking around, see if there's something you haven't seen. I'm using the DualShock controller for this one. This one does have move capability, but I found, just because the game was designed for a move controller, it just works better than the move controllers. They're incredibly precise, the move controllers, but when it comes to things like movement in combat, of which there is very little, but movement in combat and flying around in your spaceship, they're really loose. Oh, what is that? Uranium, we'll take some of that. Yeah, they're really loose. So they're, yeah, a little wild. Whereas the preciseness of the DualShock controller is just, yeah, it can't be beat, really. It's how the game was designed to be played. And while you lose out on some of the immersion, you do get a better control of everything. Here we go. Cool. Terrain manipulator. Dig up giant piles of resources. If you have this game and you can afford a VR headset, I so recommend it. It's easily the biggest game for VR. They've rebuilt this game completely for VR. And it is just incredible. It's so big, so huge. And like I say, the scale is incredible. The draw distance is leaves a bit to be desired. It's a bit lacking. Then obviously the flat version, because the PSVR headset just doesn't have the same power as a HD TV or a full-size monitor. So the draw distance is no more than a few meters around you, so you'll see like things, rocks and plants just appear before your eyes, and animals that just appear when you're about a couple of meters away from them. But that is something they're constantly improving, and yeah, I highly recommend it. Just being able to look around and take it all in and see it all in relation to you in scale. Scale is the big thing. I've got a friend who's got Oculus, and the first thing he noticed, he plays Elite Dangerous, which they won't do for PSVR, unfortunately. It would mean them completely rebuilding the entire game from scratch, and they said they just won't do it. It's too much work. And it is, considering how big that universe is, it is a mammoth task for them. But yeah, he plays. They've managed to do it for PC, and he plays it on that. And he said the first thing he noticed was the scale, being able to look around inside your ship and it all being there at once. The immersion and the scale of things, like these plants and so on, for them to be this size and you're completely enveloped in there, it's just incredible. It really is. I love the PSVR headset. I cannot recommend it enough. Bit of treasure there, why not? Bit of cargo. Let's feed these guys as well. I keep on trying to encourage that one last animal, one last creature I haven't found, to rear its little head. I never take this. You can choose to take that gear with you, you can discard it straight off the bat. I've never found it useful, I've never had a need for it, so the only things you really need in this game: dihydrogen, sodium, carbon, oxygen. Copper is always a good one to have on hand because most things require copper to actually build. For example, copper's always a good one to have. Cobalt also quite useful, but not essential. It's fairly easy to find. Ferrite dust, that's another one. Ferrite dust is used in excuse me, is used in a lot of building. Silicate powder and ferrite dust are used to recharge your terrain manipulator. And also, if you have a weapon built, some projectile ammo, always good to have around. That's right, we're off to the copper deposit. All the planets have different ecosystems. For example, in this solar system, I started off on a boiling planet, the one with the ring around it. Started off on a boiling planet. Then I got to one that was freezing after dark. Then I got to one that was just normal, a dead planet that was just had a regular atmosphere. And then this one, which is irradiated. So I had a little taste of everything. This is only the first solar system I was in. I'm determined to complete it. If we can put the work in while the environment's easy. And then when the game starts getting really harder, you can don't have to do as much. We call that working smarter, not harder. Now you don't have to just walk everywhere in this game. You do have a starship. You can build what's called exocrafts, so like vehicles you can use on planets, or like I say, your starship can take you out into space as well as get you around planets. Really the fastest way to travel. Or you can build teleporters, but you need to build a secondary teleporter first to travel to it. So it would mean posting up another teleporter wherever you were aiming. So you would have to get there first. so it's a bit redundant. But it's handy to get from planet to planet. For example, as you saw when I was looking up there, each of these planets have bases on. Those little habs, those little kind of bubbles in the hexagons there. They're my bases on those planets, and I've set up teleporters to each of them so I can just travel from base to base and from planet to planet. Which was a proud day, considering this is just a computer game. It was a proud day when I realised I'd networked this entire solar system. Didn't get anything for it besides the satisfaction of having done it, but yeah. Now I have built myself a little bit of radiation protection. One thing I've never been sure of, and I need to probably think about testing, is seeing if you can stack the effects, because I've got a low level protection, C-class protection. I'm only getting like 21% resistance to radiation. But I want, if you can, I mean, would building 4, would they stack? Would that just resolve, completely stop me getting any radiation? I don't know. I don't know how it works in that sense. I do need to experiment one day. I'm focused on something else right now. So that's all the copper. I'll wait till there's a bit more up here. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, a couple of little kiddywink ones. Let's give them a little feed. Let's look out for more. Maybe you'll do. Oh, and there comes a big one, look. Greedy guts. Let's see. Let's head over to this. Is it worth it? Not really. I've got a full inventory, so not worth it at all. Okay, skip it. Skip it, and we'll just aim for the trading outpost where I can sell a bunch of my gear. Keep looking for things that don't cost to take around, pick up.
Radiation protection falling. Recharge.
Okay, there we go, very technology. Incredibly useful. Like I say, that has salvage data which you need to use to buy blueprints for hazardous planet. Now I'm playing on normal mode here. There's 4 modes in total. There's normal, which is just standard story, standard difficulty. There's survival. There's permadeath, which speaks for itself. Or there's creative mode, which you don't get any achievements, any trophies for. So, yeah, I'm not looking at that one. Because that would, yeah, that would be too easy. What am I saying here? Was nice. So that is the main aim of this game, really. You've got your story, but otherwise it's just about exploring and cataloguing. Well, the way the multi-tool, because it's not just a gun, it's a mining tool, it's a collecting tool and a weapon. It's the way it works on the DualShock, it works on the tilt, so as you can see I've got the 2 controller bits there. It works on the tilt a bit, whereas normally in the flat version it would obviously be your right stick would control which way you're aiming and you'd have a crosshair, but with this... okay. Is there anything I can get rid of? Yeah, I probably don't need to pick up any more mob. The salvage data is more important to me than the bob is. So, let's call that that. Living slime. Don't know what it's for. Haven't really come across a use for it, so I just choose to get rid. Because then again, the nanites more important to me. A bit of sodium there. Let's yeah, let's feed these guys, get them all excited. But it's still about an hour away, isn't it? Could be walking for ages. But walking around is going to be the best way to find the creature I haven't discovered on this planet yet. The only one left. What was that? So it doesn't help that I am colourblind with colours that look similar. So red and green on the fuzzy PSVR headset, not fuzzy but lower quality PSVR headset, is a minor hindrance, but it helps that they flash. Yeah, see, I got an army of creatures now that love me because I fed them. Where's it gone there? See, again, that red and the brown plants. God, tucked away like that. Clever girl. Yeah, that red symbol tucked away behind the brown plants threw me. I couldn't find it because they don't stand out because of the old colour blindness. Still heading slightly towards it, aren't I? At this angle. And like I say, things are useful for recipes to craft things like buildings for your base and yeah, technology, things like computers, signal boosters, save beacons, things like that. You have to use buried technology to buy them. But otherwise, this is yeah, essentially this game is a glorified walking simulator. It does have a story, it does have total free reign, and you're not stuck to the one planet. You can go anywhere within the galaxy, incredibly. I think the main objective, not to give anything away of the story, but I do believe from the achievements I've seen, the trophies that aren't hidden, that the objective is to get to the centre of the galaxy, which is no mean feat, but it is doable, obviously. Just need probably quite quickly doable. If you wanted to just smash out and do it without concentrating on anything else, it would be very doable, but there we go, there's another one. Those critters. Okay, there we go, not essential, just handy to mine. Is that just a rock? Looks like. Was someone else here? This is a base computer. I'm playing on my own because I don't have PS now.
Radiation protection falling.
I'm not gonna because I don't want it. I've got a base already. Just do new things, stuff running. I'm not going to because I already have a base on this planet. I don't need that base. Oh, and that may be it for today, guys. I've got to go because I'm being called. Right, see you later.